Hello, Star Wars Legion players, and welcome to Rogue Group Workshop. I'm your host, Lieutenant Horn. If you enjoy my content, please remember to like and subscribe. Comments are always welcome. I'd also like to announce the opening of my Etsy store, Rogue Group Workshop, where you can buy storage devices for your Star Wars Legion tools, dice, and tokens. The link for that can be found in the description below. Today, I will be previewing the Streets of Yar'Kassy terrain set from War Scenery. As of the release of this video, this Kickstarter has about 17 days left to go, and a full pledge will cost you about $70 USD. Now, full pledge is the terrain and the minis. If you're just interested in the terrain itself, that will run you about $51 USD. The links for both the Kickstarter and War Scenery's website can be found in the description below. Now, I've purchased many War Scenery's terrain sets, the Rebel Command Base, the Massa Dune, the Desert Trading Post, and the Outer Rim Territory sets, which I have done a video on previously. So I'm very familiar with their work and the evolution of their designs over the past few years. These models were provided to me for free as a beta test by War Scenery. This is an honest review. I've not been paid for this review, and these are my honest opinions on the models that I have received so far to print and paint. I will also say that with the War Scenery Kickstarter, that also opens up an opportunity to buy into previous Kickstarters from War Scenery that have expired, so that you can get the terrain sets for previous Kickstarters instead of having to purchase the models individually. So for those who want to buy into previous terrain sets from War Scenery or their minis, now is the time to do so. This is the best opportunity for you to do so, and it will save you the most money in getting all of the pieces that you'd like. So with that, let's start the review. First off, we've got the scatter terrain. Now, I was given 8 pieces to try out, and I glued them together to create 4 different terrain pieces. So to print these 8, it was 100 grams of filament and had a 3-hour, 45-minute print time on a single plate. So we'll start with one of the simple ones here. This is kind of like some, I don't know, moisture evaporator stand-in. There's a decent amount of detail on it, and it's very easy to paint. I did a base paint, contrast over it, and then did some details, and that was about it. So set that to the side here. We'll go into the next one. So this is another one. So this tank is a separate piece, and these boxes are a separate piece, and I printed those out and glued them on top to combine it, just give some more cover options, and I quite like the way that looks. You can see the detail on that. Again, for my terrain, for the light terrain, the scatter terrain, I really like to just do a base color and give it some kind of colorful yet darker toned contrast paint with a little extra detail in it. So here's another set. This is actually one piece. I did not glue anything else onto this to add to it. So this is the only set. So you got the cloth here. And food bowls. That's something that you'll see repeating in this is a lot of what looks to be some kind of clay pottery, cups and things like that. So I went with the red terrain for the base, and the reason I did that is because I have enough desert terrain sets as is, so I kind of wanted to have like a red planet kind of thing, Mars kind of soil. I know this is a lot darker. This is corn red from Citadel, but it's just what I chose to go with. So here's another one. Again, this chest is separate. I glued it on top of the one below it. And I don't know what this is. Maybe it's a light or a heating source. This is also a separate piece. I glued it on as well. So as you can see, there's a decent amount of terrain in these little scatter terrain pieces. And so while I'm mentioning the ground color, I will also say that for this set, the ground is optional. So you can buy this set, and you can either, when you buy it, you get multiple models. So you can either print the building as it is, or the scatter terrain, or you can build it with the ground added to it. So that'll allow you to print something in that has would normally have like a ground terrain for a desert, and instead you can paint it like an ice planet or anything that you want, volcanic, whatever. So that's an option you get for this, and that's an option that I believe is going forward with any more of their terrain sets, especially since it was on their last one that I purchased, which was the Rebel Command base. So I'm going to go on to the next one, and this is the Outhouse. Now, this used 60 grams of filament and had a 1 hour and 30-minute print time on a single plate. This is a solid piece. It's just one piece. There's no top and bottom. It prints as a solid piece. And I would say that I kind of wonder if maybe they should chop the top off and hollow the base out. That way you could save on filament. But that would be my only recommendation. I do like this piece because it blocks line of sight for regular minis and some smaller emplacements. So I'm going to move some of the stuff out of the way here. So there we go. Line of sight. It's not going to block line of sight for anything else. So you could probably get a small squad, 4 to 6 minis behind it for cover. There's a decent amount of detail on it, and it just makes for a simple print. This is not supposed to be something that you're supposed to drop 3 squads behind. It's just something that you're supposed to drop a squad behind and as you're moving from cover to cover. So set that there. The next one will be the Worker's Abode. Now this 250 grams of filament with a 6 hour and 30-minute print time on 2 plates. So you have your top piece, the roof, and then you have the bottom piece, as you can see, is hollow here. And you can see, let me get the focus there. You can see I just do a base color. I did a base Xandri Dust spray paint on this, and then I did my little details. I decided to go with Cantor blue doors, and just painted some of the raised portions, like the ladders here, some of the cables and the wires, and then I went over it with a dark dry brush to bring out some of those details, and then I hit it with some red paint as well, some more corn red, just to give it a little dusting. I don't really do a whole lot of complicated detailing and painting on my terrain just because I have so much, but I think this turned out very well. As you can see, there's details on top, scrapes and pits in the model for you to pick up when you dry brush. So I really like this piece as well. We'll put a mini on top just so you can get a sense of scale for it. There we go. So that is the Worker's Abode. All right, and so the next one is going to be the Desert House. This was 370 grams of filament and had an 11 hour, 40-minute print time across 2 plates. So you basically have your main building. You have your 2 awnings. These come with some plugs that you can use, so you can clip them in and out. They're pretty sturdy, but I ended up gluing all of my stuff in just so I wouldn't lose it. This canopy also is a piece. It pops out. It's connected with 2 C clips. You have these supports here, which plug in as well. Then you also have this whole piece from here out is one piece. This overhang is another piece that slots in. Your antenna has a plug where you can plug it in. And then this just slides into place here. But I ended up gluing everything in, including the roof, which again, this is chopped off because you can see this is hollow on the inside. But I glued everything together just so I wouldn't lose it, and I'm pretty rough with my terrain. So in this instance, I wanted to keep it. I have popped this off where the glue just broke, and I just glued it right back into place. So this is just because it was a little loose for me. For some reason, my printer did not want to print the holes properly on the first go, but second go, it was fine. But again, lots of detail, red flooring there. You can see all the little scrapes and the weathering that is in the walls. And your sign. I really like this kind of vendor marketplace kind of detail hanging out in the front. That was really fun to paint. And this is you can actually fit this. You can fit a mini on top, and it won't slide off. So that works out too if you want to jump up a level. And then you can also fit some minis on the back end there. It's a nice piece, and it blocks line of sight for plenty of different vehicles. So it's a great addition to the battlefield. And then I'm going to go into the last one. This is actually my favorite terrain piece, and this is the market stand. This used 120 grams of filament and had a 5-hour print time across 2 plates. Before I show it to you, this is something that I'm probably going to print another version of. I'm just going to mirror it. And the reason is it just looks great. There's so much detail in this, and it's very simple to paint. It's very simple to paint, especially if you're using contrast paints and base paints. So as you can see, I did the Cantor blue on top. I did some gold here on the bottom, and then I hit it with a little oil wash that really brought some of the detail and the ripples out. And then I ended up gluing this together. And the reason why I glued it together is even though the seat connectors are tight to start, the more you take it apart, put it together, take it apart, put it together, it kind of starts to loosen up over time. This piece right here actually chops off about there, and it's connected with a clip as well. And then the legs you can print as well, standing vertically or horizontally. I would print these vertically. Just my printer again had some issues printing holes without supports, and that caused the connectors to be not quite so tight. So I reprinted these vertically and it worked a lot better. But in the end, I glued this whole assembly together just so it would be more sturdy. As you can see, there's a little bit of wobble, and that's with super glue on all the points of contact. So the detail here is great, and I like the fact that you can put minis underneath, and you can even fit your dart troopers under here or your flight stand troopers. Some of them will fit under here just for movement's sake. And I really love the way that this looks. The detail on this is the one that the my gaming store really liked. It's the one that stood out to all of them, and it's the one they kept on asking me to paint. But this I ended up painting last. So this is the end of the preview. I don't have any more objects to preview for you. This is a set that I will be supporting though shortly, and I'll end up printing it out, painting, and then reviewing. But I would highly recommend it. Um, this is the second part of the Yar'Kassy terrain set. There's one that released before, so if you haven't gotten the first one, you really want to get the whole set, then that's something that I would recommend. Please remember, with War Sceneries Kickstarters, if there's a terrain set or a Kickstarter that you missed out on in the past, now is the time to buy into it and get a whole terrain set instead of having to buy them individually on the website. So that's something that I definitely say take advantage of all you can, especially if it's a terrain set that you really want. So how that works is you buy into the Kickstarter Streets of Yar'Kassy, and it'll give you an option to select prior Kickstarters, and you pay that fee, and they give you the whole set, including all of the extras that have been released since then. And another thing that I would like to mention is on most of the new one, or at least on the new sets, you have ground optional capability. So like the Rebel Command Base. So if you want to print something without having terrain, having the biome on the around it, you have that option. You'll have that option with Streets of Yar'Kassy. You'll have that option with the Rebel Command Base. Number two is they designed these to be printed without supports, and that is great for FDM printers. Third thing is the newer ones have connectors, and that aids with assembly. And then if you want to glue them, I still say print connectors out, and that helps align things and hold it tight while the glue sets. And then the final thing I'd like to mention is um, the models, the support for them does not end after the Kickstarter ends. So, for instance, the Rebel Command Base had an ion cannon, and it had the Ice Planet only option. Then they came out with a different stand that and released it for free for those who bought into the Kickstarter. So that is a benefit. I have seen some minor updates to models. Maybe something wasn't right and they fixed an error, or maybe they decided, hey, the tolerances need to be a little tighter here for a tighter connection, and they'll update the model, and you will get a notification via Kickstarter about that. So again, War Scenery support, fantastic. They answer emails and questions very quickly. Their customer support has been great, and they're one of my favorite companies that sells terrain sets. So again, finally, this is the Streets of Yar'Kassy. That Kickstarter is going on right now, and as of the release of this video, there are 17 days left in that Kickstarter. The link for that Kickstarter can be found in the description below. The link for War Scenery's website can be found in the description below. And I ask that you support this developer and buy into some of their older Kickstarters if you're interested. Check them out on their website and then make your purchase and support on the Kickstarter. It's a great company, great products, and I've really enjoyed working with them in doing these reviews and the support that they've given me. So with that, I'd also like to say again, I do have an Etsy store that just opened up. It's called Road Group Workshop, and the link for that can be found in the description below. The proceeds for sales for those models go towards me purchasing terrain to review for you. So this supports this YouTube channel, allows me to do what I do, pays for the paint as well to paint these terrain sets. I asked if you're willing to help support this channel. That'd be your way of doing it, and I hope that you enjoy the tools that I modeled as much as I have. And so with that, that's the end of this episode. Please check out my other videos, and don't forget to like and subscribe.